Hello everybody, here we are again with a new lesson on takeoffs and the risks of takeoff and how to properly take off in a helicopter. So let's get started in a second. So first of all, let me show you something. Okay, let's get into ready to fly here. And let's talk about takeoff. We have here our input viewer, so you can see what I do with the controls. And you're gonna see this is also important today for what we're gonna do and what I'm gonna show you. So in helicopter operations, when you go to flight school and you talk about takeoffs, they will mention what is called the Deadman curve, or the proper place your helicopter have to be in order to minimize risk. Let me show you this image here. What you see here is, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, this is the operation area of an helicopter. What does it mean? On the vertical axis, you have the height above the surface, and on the horizontal axis, you have the indicated airspeed. And there is two gray areas, A and B, which is where, for safety reasons, you don't want to be. So let's have a look at those areas and why they're so important. Let's start with the A area. Let's say you're hovering with your helicopter at 100 feet above the ground, okay, or 200 feet, and you have an engine failure. As I mentioned before, helicopters have a way to safely land on the ground by auto-rotation. And I will do a video on auto-rotation showing you how to do it properly. If your engine fails in this gray area, your helicopter might not have enough altitude to build up the necessary rotor RPM. So as your engine fails and you're maybe at 200 or 250 feet, your helicopter rotor will start to slow down and the helicopter will start to sink at the same time. What you want to do is go all collective down and use the inflow from the falling speed to maintain your helicopter rotor RPM. So this gray area means that you might not have enough altitude to build up and maintain that speed. Looking at the bottom B area, the gray area, this is for similar reasons. You will need, if ever your engine fails, well, first of all, there's a risk because you're really flying really low here. We're talking about, I don't know, less than 5 feet, and you might have a tree or power lines or whatever. But the thing is, if your helicopter engine fails, you might not have enough space to enter auto-rotation here. This is why when you take off with helicopters, you want to hover, as I showed you before, keep your nose down and keep on pushing it down. So it's going to be interesting. You will see that the helicopter will try to climb, and I have to push my cyclic down in order to keep it close to the ground. This is a very unusual situation. When I did my lessons on the Robinson 44, Robinson 44 has this very strong translational lift. So it really goes up in the air very quickly. And it's very counterintuitive to push the nose down so towards the ground when you take off. But you have to do it in order to do a safe takeoff maneuver. So enough talking, and let's do it now. I'm lifting my collective slowly, as I explained before. Okay, all right. Here I am. I should have anticipated that. I'm hovering. I'm gonna hover a little bit higher. So at about 10 feet or 3 meters. I'm gonna start building speed, and I don't really need to use that much collective. As you see, my collective stays stable. I'm just keeping on pushing my nose down, and my nose down, I don't want to climb. So until I reach 55 to 60 knots. And if you look at my cyclic control, okay, I'm pushing my nose down here even more because it wants to climb. When I'm at about 60 knots, I'll just let go progressively my collective, my cyclic, and start to climb. So this is the way to do a proper takeoff in a safe way. I'm staying within the parameters of the curve I showed you before. Now I'm gonna let my pedals go a little bit so the vertical stabilizer can take over the horizontal direction of the helicopter. To compensate for torque, helicopter really has the vertical stabilizer and the tail rotor. So you won't use the tail rotor much when you go above 60 knots. The vertical stabilizer is enough. So that's it for this video. In the next videos, we're gonna probably do some maneuvers around here, maybe land on that ship, but this is gonna be for next time. Thank you for listening, and up to the next, like and subscribe as always. Bye-bye.